Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we just did a blind head-to-head between the little-known John J. Bowman and the sought-after Henry McKenna 10-year bottle and bond. Which one came out on top?
Welcome back to the channel bringing real-world content to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Our head-to-heads are always double blind, so I pour interesting pairings in these sample jars that you see here. This is our blind sample pool, and I label them on the bottom with the information with the answer key. And then Erin mixes them up, so she doesn't know what she's mixing up. She's not around when I pour them. And then we randomly select which sample we're going to be tasting tonight based on a randomizer, so that we have no clue what we're drinking and you guys get our completely honest opinions. You'll know what we're drinking because that information will be in the video description below. You've already seen it in the video title, so there's no spoiler alert for you guys, but you'll get to see our honest opinions on it without any bias. So today's randomizer between these 18 pairs here is the third pair.
3, 1, 2, 3.
These right here.
These right here.
We're going to get these poured. We'll be right back with our first impressions on glass one. Ooh. It smells very apple juicy.
This is very light in taste and smell.
Yeah, it smells really good. It smells not very proofy. It smells low proof.
It kind of tastes like watered down Red Hots, but like the sugary side of the Red Hots to me. It's not sweet, but I get like a sugar taste, and it's like kind of like watered down.
Yeah. As faint as that was on the nose, I was expecting it to be more faint on the palate. You definitely get a lot of cinnamon. That's coming through. That's the predominant flavor that I'm getting is cinnamon. Got a lot of apple on the nose, just apple juice.
I feel like initially I always just smell the alcohol on these. I never smell anything right away.
Now I'm getting a lot more cinnamon on the nose after taking that sip. It really opened it up.
Now I'm kind of getting a little hint of that like straw taste that I sometimes say I taste.
On the back end, I'm getting some of that oak presence that I think you pick up as straw.
Yeah.
And it's not a heavy oak. It's not a sweet oak. It's not a bitter oak. It's very neutral. It might lean slightly bitter, but...
Ooh, I just got a smell of textbooks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was weird. Like a room of textbooks. Like I walked into a room of textbooks.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
I love reading, so I guess that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, your olfactory sense, your smell is like your scent memory is your most strong sense of memory.
Yeah.
If that's a thing, the way I said that.
It's a thing. I don't think you said it right, but...
Yeah, that's par for the course.
It's fine.
Okay, glass one, very interesting.
Interesting. I feel like there's not a lot going on, but it's not a bad thing.
It's weird. I'm not getting a lot of complexity out of it, but there seems to be a lot going on.
There's stuff going on, but it's not complex.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
There's multiple flavors in there to unpack, but... The predominant cinnamon right up front on the first sip, and then as you get into it a little bit more, some of that fruity sweetness comes out, and then you've kind of got that oaky back end.
I'm kind of feeling it down the back of my throat now.
Yeah, it's not super mouth coating. It doesn't have a super long finish, but it makes its presence known. All right, let's get into our first impressions on glass two. This smells more candy sweet compared to glass one.
I don't know. I'm not good with the smell.
Just go right in for it then.
I have to drink it and smell it and drink it and smell it and then drink it and smell it again.
Yeah, I'm getting more candy sweetness on this.
There's a familiar taste that I'm trying to pinpoint. This is way stronger of an alcohol smell right now to me than this first one did. Right off the bat.
Wow, that's almost confusing on the palate coming off of the first glass. They're so different.
I feel like they're both confusing compared to what we've had before.
I think they're both similar proof points and similar ages. Like they seem very comparable.
Okay.
as far as like the way they're hitting the palate. They're different flavors, but the experience overall is very similar. They're fairly approachable. They're not overly complex.
They're not overly complex, but they're not dumbed down or simple.
Yeah, they're not like one note wonders. There's definitely some layers of flavor there. Not a ton of complexity. It's not taking you on a journey. Like I like my whiskey to take me on a journey.
I feel like both of
these aren't doing that.
Are good, easy sippers for someone who likes to be taken on a journey. Like you, like if you like to be taken on a journey, either one of these I feel like could be an easy sipper for you. We're like, I just want something easy to sip.
Yeah.
Either one of these would fit that bill, I feel like, for you.
I would put these in the easy sipper category for me. Someone who tends to like a little bit higher proof and a little bit more complexity. These are definitely easy sippers. They're very approachable, but I think there's enough there for a seasoned whiskey drinker to enjoy.
This one, there's more going on with this one right now.
Are you getting
it's like burning, burning. I feel there's warmth down like the back of my throat as I'm like breathing in.
Comments might light me up if I don't say this, but people call that the Kentucky hug.
Oh.
Because bourbon is Kentucky.
Well, I'm getting a Kentucky hug.
The Kentucky hug.
A little stronger of a hug than this guy.
Yeah.
Like this one's like a bear hug, and this one's just like an acquaintance hug, like a side hug. It is.
Cool, Kentucky side hug.
A Kentucky side hug.
And then you've got a Kentucky bear hug.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't get quite that strength on either one of them. They're both kind of like, a nice, good to see you.
Okay.
It's not like
a what up, man.
It's not a heavy embrace.
I mean, to me it is, but that's me.
Yeah, I'm getting more candy sweetness on the nose on this one now. Just candy sweetness and caramel. Like that's...
I think my nose is broken today. I don't smell much.
All right, we're going to get into some A-B comparisons between these two glasses. We're going to clear our palates. We're going to put them through our objectively excellent subjective scoring rubric, and we will be right back with those scores. Our scoring system is super simple, common sense, thumbs up scoring, where 1 thumb equals 1 point, 2 thumbs equals 2 points, just okay is worth half a point, thumbs down, no points that if we don't like it. So we have 10 possible points across 5 categories, which are nose, flavor, and experience. That makes up the tasting score. Later on, once we do the reveal and find out what these pours are, we'll assign a retail score based on price and availability, and a consumer score based on whether we would buy it again or not. But we can't get to those until we find out what these are. But first, we're assigning tasting scores without knowing what they are.
Yes.
So, Erin, what is your tasting score on glass 1?
For glass 1, I gave it a 3. I gave it a thumbs up on the nose, thumbs up on the flavor, and a thumbs up on the experience.
I also gave glass 1 a 3. Thumbs up on the nose, thumbs up on the flavor, thumbs up on the experience. What is your tasting score for glass 2?
So I also gave glass 2 a 3. Thumbs up on the nose, thumbs up on the flavor, thumbs up on the experience.
I also gave glass 2 a 3 in tasting score. Thumbs up on the nose, thumbs up on the flavor, thumbs up on the experience.
So solid picks all around.
Yes, these are very, thumbs up across the board. A 3 across the board means it's a good quality pour. Mm-hmm. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's nothing earth-shattering. But it's good.
But good.
Solid
yeah.
quality.
Yep.
It's not subpar or anything like that. So these both were right in that wheelhouse. Yeah. When we did our A-B comparisons and took a little bit more time with each pour, did you get anything extra from each one?
So I did get some sweetness on glass 1 on the nose. After I think my nose just needs more time to acclimate. Mm-hmm. And once I was doing some A-B comparisons after we had already had a few sips, I did get some more sweetness on the nose on glass 1 than I initially did. But it didn't make it like any better. It was just, I smelled a little more sweetness, which is what I was wanting to smell. So
yeah,
that was good.
Once we took a little bit more time with these, I got a lot of, I wrote apple, cinnamon, and slightly bitter oak on the flavors for glass 1.
You're fancy.
The second glass was much more of your traditional bourbon flavors, your caramels, your vanillas, your oak. The oak on glass 2 is a little bit more sweet. These honestly were neck and neck. Neither one was overly complex, but they both had you know, they had some flavor in them.
Yeah.
You know, just good quality, solid, middle of the road pours. I liked both of these.
I wouldn't say middle of the road. I'd say they good quality pours. Middle of the road to me seems kind of like meh.
Well, if I'm spending even $20 or $30 on a bottle, I want it to be good. I want it to be at least this quality or more. And if it's less than this quality, I'd rather just not buy it.
Correct. Yeah.
Personally speaking.
I agree.
Even though I'm prone to spending a lot more on a bottle than you are. So
I agree.
That's, to me, you have to meet that threshold of being good across the board before I even really want to buy it again.
Yeah.
But we'll get into the pricing and availability a little bit later on. We're jumping the gun on that one a little bit. Did you have we both scored these both 3 out of 6 for tasting scores. Did you have a preference as to either glass?
Honestly, I would drink either one. And for me, it's going to come down to price.
Yeah.
And availability due to the price, but mostly the price.
Yeah.
Because I would drink either one. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say both of them are my favorite because I would drink either one.
Yeah. Knowing myself and my own personal preferences, I tend to skew slightly more towards glass too, but honestly, these really are a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like either one of these are bringing anything revolutionary to the tasting experience.
Yeah. But they're solid.
But they're both solid.
Yeah.
I'd be happy. I mean, I hope these are both readily available. I hope they're both a decent price. I'd be happy to buy either one of these again, but they're not knocking my socks off. Yeah. So we're going to check our sample jars. Aaron's going to check the answer key, and we are going to find out what are in these 2 glasses. So glass 1 is number 33.
Okay.
And glass 2 is number 32.
33 and 32. So glass 1 is number 33, you said?
33.
John J. Bowman, 100 proof, $50.
Okay.
And glass 2 is number 32.
Yes.
Henry McKenna, 100 proof, $50.
Wow.
So they're both the same proof and the same price.
Wow.
So I would literally buy both of these.
This is really interesting to me because these are both single barrel products.
They both are.
They both are.
Okay.
So a single barrel product means that one single barrel goes into filling X amount of bottles, usually about 150 or 200, and then that's it. So there will be variances between barrels, and most of these single barrel products will say the barrel number on it so you can look at it and see.
Are there usually large variances between barrels, or are they very slight?
There can be.
Okay.
Usually the distillery does try to put out single barrel products that fit the flavor profile that they are trying to achieve with the product.
Okay.
But there are variances that are going to happen depending on how sensitive your palate is to the variances, depending on if you get an outlier from the distillery.
Okay.
Particularly, Henry McKenna is known for having some pretty wild variances in its and also
wild good, wild bad.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Henry McKenna 10-year is, I would say, a pretty hyped up product these days.
Why?
In 2017, it won a tasting competition by one of the top bourbon tasters. Okay. And from that point onward, it went from being this easily available bottle that was just sitting on shelves everywhere. And then all of a sudden, it gets awarded the top tier tasting prize by a bourbon taster, and then the next thing you know, it's just disappearing off shelves. It's flying off shelves. People are going nuts for it.
Is it still just like flying off shelves?
Yeah.
But it's still it's $50. So the price hasn't been raised.
It's gone up. I think its retail is actually a $30 or $40 bottle. I think back then it used to be $30. Okay. And as the demand has skyrocketed, you don't find this in stores for $30 anymore. You find it for $40 at best. Most of the stores in our area, Nashville, Tennessee, charge $50 for a bottle. They put it on the shelf. It immediately disappears. People definitely love them some Henry McKenna. They go nuts for it. I wouldn't say
it was good, but
I wouldn't say it's highly allocated, but it's something that people definitely go crazy over.
Okay.
John J. Bowman is a product that people don't go crazy over. In fact, a lot of people don't even really pay Bowman products all that much mind.
I've never heard of that. And granted, I don't know a ton, but I've heard of Henry McKenna before. I've heard the name. Yeah. I've heard of like Willet. I've heard of those things, but I've never heard of this one before.
Right. So Henry McKenna is from the Heaven Hill Distillery. Okay. It's a good classic Kentucky bourbon. John J. Bowman is from a Virginia distillery, and this distillery is rumored to get their distillate from Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
They get this distillate, they take it, they run it through their equipment, their copper stills, and then they do their aging in Virginia. But you do get some of the characteristic Buffalo Trace elements out of this.
Okay.
So you essentially have a Buffalo Trace-ish single barrel versus a Heaven Hill single barrel. This is fascinating just because they're so similar in price. Like I said, it's a flip of a coin. Mm-hmm. Like, they're both good.
Yeah.
They're both good, but there's a lot of other good stuff out there as well.
Is there one that's more readily available consistently than
the Bowman.
Others? Okay.
The Bowman. I do think the Bowman has... I don't think they have as much distribution as the McKenna, but because the demand for McKenna is so high, it goes off the shelves really fast when it is available. And there's even, like, in smaller areas, some shops know that it's a high demand product, and so they mark it up a little bit, which is kind of shady. So you've basically got John J. Bowman, $50, 100 proof, decent availability in our market. I can go to a couple shops and find a bottle of this, no problem. Henry McKenna, 100 proof, $50 as well. Definitely limited availability. So it's not highly allocated. You're probably not going to get somebody to pull one out of the back room for you at a liquor store. It's not that bad, but when it does hit shelves, it goes pretty fast.
So you might not be able to get it.
So you might not be able to get it if you want another bottle, or you might have to wait a month or two or something like that. And then once shops do have it, sometimes they'll put like a limit 1 or 2 bottles per person so that people can't stockpile it. So with that, we need to get into our retail and our consumer scores. Those are what they sound like. Our retail score is the retail side of the equation for each one of these based on their price and availability. The consumer score is us as consumers, whether we would buy it again or not. Aaron, what would you rank Glass One on retail and consumer score?
Honestly, I would give this Glass One a thumbs up on retail score and a thumbs up on consumer score because it's a decent price. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. It's a good medium price point, and it's a good solid pour. And I would buy it again at that price.
I would give Glass One a thumbs up on retail score. Price and availability for what you're getting, I feel like are fair. Consumer score, I would give it a thumbs up as well.
Yeah.
I would buy another bottle of this. Good, like I said, good solid bourbon.
Yeah.
All right, Glass Two, retail and consumer score. Where are you at?
Gosh, I feel like, so for retail score, it's a good price. The limited-ish availability kind of makes me question it, but I'd still give it a thumbs up. So a thumbs up on retail score, and I would give it a thumbs up on consumer score too, honestly, because I would buy it again if I could find it. I
would give McKenna a just okay on retail score. I kind of vacillate. In our market, it does hit the shelves at some stores, some of the larger stores. So, but I'm just going to still just give it a just okay because it can be difficult to find. And then on consumer score, I'll give it a thumbs up. I could almost skew towards just okay with that as well, but I'll give it a thumbs up. If I don't have a bottle of McKenna and I see a bottle of McKenna on the shelf, I'll probably grab it. So thumbs up, I would replace that bottle. So now that we have our retail score and our consumer score, we can add those with our tasting scores from before and get what we call our real world score. So Aaron, what is your real world score for Glass One?
My real world score for Glass One is a 5 out of 10. I gave it a thumbs up on retail score, thumbs up on consumer score, and you add that to my 3 from the tasting total, comes out to a 5 out of 10.
Exact same for me on John J. Bowman.
Yeah.
I gave it a thumbs up on retail score, thumbs up on consumer score, and my tasting score for it was also a 3, which gives me a 5. Your real world score on Henry McKenna 10-year bottled in bond.
So I also gave it a thumbs up on retail score, and I gave it a thumbs up on consumer score. Add that to my 3 on my tasting score. I also give this one a 5 out of 10.
And this is the only spot where we differ.
Yeah.
I give Henry McKenna a just okay on the retail score because of the somewhat limited availability. And then I give it a thumbs up on the consumer score because I'd replace it. And my tasting score of 3 gives me a 4.5 out of 10 for Henry McKenna on the real world score.
So close. I mean, these are good, solid. I mean, I guess you said it earlier, middle of the road, and I was trying to say, no, don't say middle of the road, but they are just kind of middle of the road. Yeah.
I mean,
they're good though. Like, if I saw either one of these, I would say, hey, why don't you get one? I wouldn't go out of my way to get either one of these, but if we were in a store, I'd say, hey, pick one up.
So we have both of these bottles, and if we ran out of either one and I saw another bottle sitting on the shelf, I would replace it. But when we say that they're middle of the road and they're not knocking our socks off, what that really means to me is that while these are both good pours, this isn't anything I can't get in a variety of other products that sit on the shelf. And quite honestly, for $50, I can probably find a very similar experience for almost half the price.
That's true.
You know, at some point with these single barrel products, I like playing the single barrel game, whereas other people might like a little bit more consistency from product to product. And so if you like more consistency and you want to pay a little bit less money, there's a ton of products on the shelf that would be a better choice, I think, than either one of these. All your standard classic bourbons, your Elijah Craig small batches, Wild Turkey 101s, Buffalo Trace. I mean, you name it. Like, there's a ton of products that would be comparable to both of these pours. And on any given night, we might like those more or we might like these more.
Yeah.
Or depending on the single barrel expression. I'm happy with both of these.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
same.
You can't really go wrong.
I ain't mad at it. Is it good mixed together like that?
It's fine. It's middle of the road. Who'da thunk mixing two
Who'da thunk it?
middle of the road bourbons together would taste like a middle of the road bourbon. But yeah, it's fine.
It's good.
It's fine. These are good. That's it for this head to head.
That's all she wrote.
That's it for this head to head. Aaron, take us out of here.
Well, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps YouTube push this video out to more people, which will really help grow our channel. And if you want to keep seeing content like this, hit the subscribe button. And you can even hit that bell notification to be notified when we post videos, which
you could.
Would be cool.
You could.
I mean, if you like those notifications, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really the like and the subscribe, those things do help with the algorithm.
They do.
Like, we are YouTube watchers as well.
Oh, yes.
And before I started
much.
making content, I didn't hit the thumbs up button nearly as much as I should. And it does really help.
It does.
If you do appreciate the video, it would be greatly appreciated if you could. We like our thumbs around here.
We do. Thumbs up.
It's a weird thing to say. I didn't wake up this morning thinking I would tell anybody I like my thumbs, but you know. Here we are.
All right.
All right. Until next week, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my gosh. And I married you. I love you. All right.
All right. Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Aaron.
And we just did a blind head-to-head between the little-known John J. Bowman and the highly sought-after Nope. Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're...
That's the sound your butt makes sometimes.
That's true.